do not ask to walk by light, but to feel the touch of your hand and understand that sight is not seeing.
Mark Twain once famously said that only two things in life are certain: death and taxes. Everyone experiences death and the resulting grief. It's inevitable. In my role as a minister, I often find that some families are more acquainted with death than others, and this is a tragedy for them. It often seems so unfair, and frequently it's of no fault of their own. As those who are bereaved, dealing with grief is a process, and it's never easy. It needs work, or we become stuck. We build shrines and hold vigils and even try and commune with our lost ones through sometimes very unhealthy ways. Here in this lovely old graveyard, we find some of the trappings of how people in days gone by have worked through their bereavement and their grief. And we can see some of those examples on the gravestones. Yesterday, we remembered the death of Jesus, his murder by the state on a Roman cross. And yet, it wasn't murder, because it was an integral part of his mission. God gave a promise to the Jewish folks that their Messiah would not be abandoned to death, that his body would not be left in the grave. And yet here he is. He's dead, buried in a stranger's tomb. He said it was for us, but how can that be? What good is he dead? The grief of the disciples must have been manifold. The loss of their teacher and friend, their hopes of political restoration dashed, fear of repercussions and confusion about what would become of them. On Easter Saturday, we have the time to pause. Jesus is not yet risen. The excitement of the resurrection is not yet upon us. How do you feel about that? We know how the story ends. The disciples did not. How do you think they felt? In the words of the great hymn, "'Tis finished, the Messiah dies, cut off for sins, but not his own. Accomplished is the sacrifice, the great redeeming work is done." On the cross, Jesus too took upon himself the great breach that separated us from him. He knit the broken hearts together by the power of his love. The great redeeming work is done.